Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeart Radio. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
We are in week 11 and I couldn't be happier.
I am fired up for all the things that we can talk about. Sometimes we're like, oh, should we have a guest? And then we're like, well, we ramble on for 45 minutes without a break. So might as well just keep it going. You and I have so much jewelry on right now. We might as well be saying this.
Styled by Alyssa Green. Well, you got me this way. I'm doing a stack because of you. I'm doing 80 chains. I just did press today for Wear NHL line. So you
look great.
Thanks. God, this makeup, I just did a quick degrease of my face. I could have fried a burger or French fries on my face because this has been going strong since 5:30. But
wait, so
yeah.
I saw your Insta story this morning.
Yes.
Jillian and Dominique were at your house over at the Wear headquarters at 6:30 a.m. This started, to your previous point, bright and early. So tell everyone what you've been doing.
So hair and makeup, because I did press, we obviously our NHL line is out for Wear by Erin Andrews. You can pick it up on fanatics.com or nhlshop.com. We carry all 32 teams, but I basically just talked for 4 hours and I want to blow my brains out because who needs to hear that long?
Well, then let's talk for another 45 minutes.
Exactly. And then I fit in a fertility acupuncture trip to Santa Monica and back. So here I am sweating like a beast. Well, it's also because I'm drinking coffee, but I have to wear these estrogen patches because, we're hoping I'm going to do another round of fertility. Stop me if you've heard this before, but we're going to try to do another round and we're trying to balance my body.
Which is amazing.
Well, and so we're trying to balance my body, but he goes, you're going to have great skin. You're going to have a lot of energy, but I'm sweating in all the wrong places. I mean, I might as well be doing Jacksonville, Tennessee at this moment. Is that who played? But God, it's a lot. Anyways. But yeah, so I want to get to one of the things we discussed while I was doing hair and makeup, but you had do we go there with your texting or no? Do we want to talk about that?
We go everywhere. I mean, I'll just omit the subject matter. Okay, so let me set the scene. So Insta stories, I was up really early. I'm always up early because the dogs have to be let out. No one needs to have accidents in the house. Fine. Yeah. Sometimes I then go back to sleep after that. This particular case, busy Monday, we're off and running. So Insta story, Erin's getting ready. I message Dominique and Jillian are both over there. I message them. I'm like, you guys are so cute because you were talking about Taylor Swift. You've been really high on the Taylor Swift situation.
We're going to talk about that after your story.
Okay, great. I was up a bottle of wine into my Adele, watching that last night.
About this.
Crying. I was on my
rated phenomenal. I didn't watch it.
I told you to watch it. I text you. I said, watch it. I know you were in the middle of Fa La 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 Christmas with Jarrett and you guys were setting up the tree. But Kyle was at a concert. I was home alone on the couch. I was so excited. I got home, watched part of the Sunday night game, and when it became a blowout, I was like, perfect timing, switch over Adele, which I had previously recorded. I was an Adele fan before. I am now that person that's like all Adele all time after watching that interview. Celine? And she's the new Celine. Also, she loves Celine. She had James Corden frame. Remember that? Did you see that thing on Vogue? She had James Corden framed a piece of Celine Dion's gum and gave it to her because it was from Carpool Karaoke. Okay,
God.
Everyone just settle in, grab a piece of paper and a compass because we are going to be all over the map. All right, so all of this is happening. Last night, I was up late watching that. Up early this morning, bringing it back to the Insta stories. Jillian had sent me an Insta story and I responded back, not to Jillian, but to who the Insta story was from.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Because then
you covered it up really, really well. You handled it was great. You handled it so well.
Erin, said person responds back on the DM and I look at my phone. I'm like, why is that person DMing me? And then it hit me. I said the rude thing I was saying, which wasn't so bad. It could have been.
It wasn't that rude.
It could have been way worse. Like I would have actually said it to the person's face because I'd be like, what are we doing here? But because we're not close enough. Anyways, I don't know if you guys have ever had this situation where you either, when you're on like a multiple text chain and you respond back to someone. I did it the other day with the Amazon Live girl that I was talking to, and it was a text directed for you about an ex-boyfriend of mine. And I didn't even tell you this. I'll get into that in a second. The point is that if you
Keep
ever
up.
accidentally, that's the new name of this podcast, keep up. If you ever accidentally respond to someone, and then I had to figure out how I was going to get out of looking like a complete dick.
You did fine.
Okay, great. So that's how my day started. And then you jumped straight into press.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, I have done that. I think we've all done that with social media, with texting, with so many conversations. We've all done it. I did it before. We were on a road trip. We were going from a Thursday to a Sunday. We landed, I think, at 4 a.m. in whatever town we were doing a game. I remember I was with Joe because he knew the person. I was making a comment and I was supposed to send it either to you or to Jarrett. And I made a comment about that person and it went right to them.
And their name was in it?
I DM'd them. I accidentally, what you did today, I DM'd them back about them, which you did. And I made fun of them and like what you did. And then Joe knows them. And I go, oh my God, look what I did. And instantly it's 4 a.m. I just worked a game. I came up with like a quick line like you did. And I saved it. And I have to say this, I impressed myself with how fast I covered my nasty shit. Like, I impressed myself.
I'm almost worried how easy this was for me to cover it up. Because the same thing for me. And I was like, when the person writes back right away and they're like, oh, you don't, whatever they said. And I'm like, no, that's not at all what I meant. Yes, that's exactly what I meant. And then twist and turn. And now we're doing a triple axel on the ice and it is all downhill.
Of course. Sow-cows are us. So
Shit.
let's go back to Adele. It got great ratings. I saw you did text me and say, watch it. You said you were bawling. You said you love her. You want the winged eye. I could never do that. I'll try, but I don't think I could ever do that. I get a very, very, I don't know, too much
her
for me.
Skin, her humor, her she's self-deprecating. I mean, like, who has a concert that for the first time in however many years, like for a new album in like 6 or 7 years, and then she's so gracious and she like facilitates this proposal for this sweet little couple. Like most artists like that would want it to be all about them. Well, yeah, but it's smart.
That album out.
But
how
it's
smart of her is it to do that concert and to be on with Oprah? Well, it's
I'm talking about the engagement. You didn't watch it. There was an engagement that happened that during the
I read about it.
Yeah,
she's got Oprah tweeting about it. Oh yeah.
I thought it was sweet. And as someone, and here's the thing, and again, the juxtaposition of like her whole album's about divorce and having been divorced. It's very traumatic. I appreciated that she was just honest. I like celebrities, musicians, whoever that just don't hold back with how they feel. And I feel like she's one of those girls you could have like a bottle of wine with and she would act exactly the same way that she would as we see her on camera. So I was an Adele fan before. I'm a huge fan of her now. And her freaking voice. Yeah. It makes me, Jillian and I were texting. She's like, I wish that I had like a skill like that. Like we all wish we had a skill like that. So how was your night with
applying my eye makeup? No, wait, I have a few follow-up questions. So where did it go wrong? No, so what was basically the gist of all this? She's pumping out her new music. She was talking about this album is about this divorce.
Yeah, this album's about the divorce, but she also said that she's still friends with her ex.
Yeah, I saw that
because
part.
They have a kid together. So that's great for her child to have that relationship. Having gone, again, through a divorce, but never had a kid. I cannot imagine having to still correspond with that person on the regular. Not interested. So that was great. And then also too about bringing it back and like still believing in love and still believing that like you can start giving yourself some grace. You would have loved this. And you're always telling me to do this. You're always advocating for me to not be so hard on myself because I'm like, well, mess that up again. And you're like, stop, like just go through it. And she had this whole part of the interview that was talking specifically about that. Like her girlfriend just told her to keep going. Like things are going to be bad. You're going to want to jump back into the marriage, but just keep going through it. And she was just, I don't know, everything about it like resonated in my life. And I was like, oh, Cabernet.
And how was the music?
Incredible. Like she sang some of her old stuff. And then Leo, there was a pan in the crowd of like who was there. I guarantee it was Leonardo DiCaprio, and I don't know if that's come out, but because he had a mask on, but he pulled it down at one point, and like saw him. He was there. James Corden was in the audience. There were so many people in the audience that because she invited like some people that were her friends, and then she said also some people she didn't know, but she was really sweet, and I don't know. I just would have given anything for an invite to that.
God. Well, that
The
sounds
aerial
amazing.
views and the sun was setting and the Hollywood sign. It was very magical, the whole thing.
My husband was like, "Is this live?" I was like, "I don't think so, but who
No,
knows?"
no, no.
We
So how
were
did the
watching
yeah,
Well,
what
we
were
were
you guys
watching
doing?
the reason why I couldn't get into it, and I'm embarrassed to say, but I'm not embarrassed to say because it's unbelievable television. We were watching The Real Housewives of Salt Lake and the whole arrest that goes down with Homeland Security and NYPD with Jen Shaw. I mean, it is unbelievable television.
I don't watch this show, so fill me in. You don't watch
Oh
Adele, I'll buy you the
my
album, fill me in.
God. Listen, I'll tell you, if this hadn't been on, I would have watched Adele, but I like Real Housewives of Salt Lake. It's funny. I find the whole, being a Mormon interesting. There's actually a woman on the show that has had 9 miscarriages, talk about resignating with
Aw,
someone. And she has 3 kids
9
and she's
miscarriages?
trying, her husband really, really wants her to have another one. And she's like, I can't go through this again. We have 3 kids. They're fine. He's like, well, what about a sister wife? He is honest to God serious about a sister wife. I mean, this Real Housewives, it's unbelievable. And this
I
guy's
used
a
to watch that
doctor.
show. Did you ever watch that show on TLC, Sister Wives?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I did. I got into it. I was like, this is, you know what? Again, everyone, that's great. If that's your choice, good for you. But
Yeah.
I could not wrap my head around it. Imagine sharing, like you leave your house right now and you go over to somebody else's house, or Jarrett goes over to somebody else's house. No. I mean, I want Kyle to leave this house sometimes because I'm getting annoyed, but I mean, that's different. I just like, I can't imagine having to like, but again, everyone's got their own choice. Okay, so why is Salt Lake aside from that? Like, who are the characters that I would be into?
They're great. There's a girl, Heather. Everybody's
Characters, by
obsessed
the way,
with
they're
her.
people.
She was a hardcore Mormon growing up. She like never drank. And then she got a divorce from her husband, which apparently is really looked down upon in the religion. And she decided to raise her kids outside the church if they want to go. Anyways, there's a lot of like, everybody loves her. Like Rihanna loves her. Rihanna DMs her. There's, a couple,
There's a DM
whatever.
I'd like to respond to.
Exactly. So there is a character on this show and she is very extravagant and she has a ton of money and her last name is Shaw and she calls it the Shaw Squad. Her husband is actually an assistant coach with Utah, the University of Utah. I think he's
Oh.
a wide receivers coach, but I could be wrong. Anyways,
Alex Smith, Urban Meyer, the list goes
yeah.
on.
Well, anyways, she lives a real like big time lifestyle. She's got a ton of clothes. She's like always done up. And it's always like, I know he's not making that kind of money. So where is she getting it from? Well, obviously last summer, she's arrested. The
For
feds go
what?
after her for going after, she's got this whole internet scheme with her assistant and they're basically stealing money from the elderly. And it's
Oh, I hate her.
but it's major. So they don't know this is happening, right? The show. This is like CSI Real Housewives style. So everybody's waiting for this episode because we all knew she got brought in, she got indicted, she's, going to jail. They're talking about 50 years in prison. Maybe not 50. I don't know. Anyways, Cherie, DB's coach at Utah. Yes, I knew it. Well, I knew it was a coach at Utah. Anyways, hey, Ryan, is he still employed by Utah?
Ryan, for those of you that
to
are
know.
new to the program, is our producer.
Yep. He always has good little, I knew I'd bring it back to sports. Anyways, they all are deciding to go to Vail. They're going to Vail. And this is the episode everybody's waiting for because everyone knew going into this season, like she's like, the only thing I'm guilty of is being fabulous or amazing. So anyways, they all get on this party bus to go to Vail. So they all get on the party bus and one of them's like, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. So she gets off to go to the bathroom in like her shop that they're at, like they're in the parking lot. All of a sudden, Jen Shaw is on the bus and like she gets a call and she's like, hello, someone is calling her from her people, tipping her off. They got us. The feds got us. They're coming. Get out.
No.
You can see her demeanor change. And she looks at one of the housewives and she's like, will you undo my pack really fast? Smart. Gets the pack off. She walks off.
Always take the microphone pack off, folks. Always take, that's like the number one thing we do. When I start talking in the hallways at Fox, I did it the other with Terry. I looked because he started to talk and say something and who knows where he's going. Right. And I go, hey, look at me. I go, are you wearing a mic? And he goes, no, I don't have it on. I go, okay, all right. Now carry on. Got it. Make sure the
Jen
microphone.
Shaw, Terry Bradshaw, same
Very
thing.
similar. Mhm.
Incriminating. So, at this point, the producers don't know the gold that they have. They don't know that Homeland Security and NYPD and SWAT teams are showing up. Like,
Claire
they have no
Danes?
clue. God, I love that show. Anywho, so she goes off and a camera's on her, but it's not a big deal. They're like, everybody's like, oh my God, I brought 7 outfits. Like, I can't wait to drink tonight. Whatever.
Champagne.
Yeah.
Vicky Gumbelson, whoop it up. We're
Whoop it
about
up.
to whoop it up in jail
Yeah.
in Alcatraz.
She walks back on and she goes, I have to go. But she's like, she looks out of it and they're like, what's wrong? She's like, Coach Shaw, he has internal bleeding and he may need surgery and I have to go. And all the girls are like, what?
That's what she came up with?
That's what she came up with.
She wouldn't have responded as well as we do with the misappropriated DMs and text messages.
Yes, true. So all of a sudden she gets in a truck. She gone. Cameras are rolling in the bus and they're all talking. Should we go? I mean, he's going to need surgery. Should we stay? Like,
No.
How bad is this? Maybe we just, all of a sudden in the backgrounds of the bus, you start seeing the feds roll in. Like,
no, you see the lights
like this. No, not lights. You see them walking out. You see the guns. And I'm like goosebumps. You're like, holy shit.
Oh,
Well,
it looks like
producers-
I think I'll know what I'm doing for the next month. Catching up on this show. Don't tell me how it ends. Spoiler alert.
No, I'm not through it. But then the producers are like, is everything good? Is everything? They're like, we're looking for Jen Shaw. Do you know where we are? She is. Then the girls on the bus are like, they're looking for Jen. They're looking, is this a joke? This is a joke. Is this a joke? What is HSI?
Are you guys strippers?
The next
episode,
how
they bring the cops.
Yeah. The next episode, what I was watching with, you were watching Adele, is the actual arrest. They're all on the bus. They go to Vail and she's getting picked up. Like, it's so, even Jarrett was like, this is unbelievable. Because Andy Cohen, once again, strikes freaking gold. It was so good.
I was upset that you didn't watch Adele. Now I'm understanding why you didn't watch it. You'll get the album. I'll give it to you. I'll buy it for you.
I already bought the first song. It's great.
Oh my God, Jen Shaw.
Yeah, Shaw amazing.
Well, Shawshank Redemption is where she's at. I mean,
so, Adele's not the only one that made news this week with music.
Erin's really been high on the Taylor Swift, and I love a Taylor Swift song, but I doesn't feel like I'm more of the pedestrian Taylor Swift compared to you. You were watching the video and everything.
So I was watching the video, but Jillian ruined it for me today. One of the things that she said is, she goes, what do you think of the Jake Gyllenhaal song? And I was like, it's great. I love it. I love that song when it first came out. I'm going to do my Jillian voice because she says I did it so well. And she did this to my Instagram. That relationship was like 3 months long and like 10 years ago. Why are we still talking about it? And I was like, because it's a hit song. I mean, it's a great song. And I feel like it resonates with so many people. But now that Jillian said that, it kind of has ruined me. But I still love this song.
Taylor Swift has made a living off of past relationships. So if she didn't sing about whether it's 3 months or 3 years or 3 days, what are we singing about? In the Woods? Is that also about a relationship?
I loved In the Woods.
I loved 8-9. I text you. Oh, again, that text message that I sent you saying that 1984 was like a soundtrack for that one relationship in my life, and I included that person's name. That went to the Amazon Live woman who I do not know, and was just basically asking her how I set up my storefront on Amazon Live. And then little did she know, she got tossed a freaking Hail Mary. And let's just say it didn't need to happen, but she now knows too much about my past.
Question for you. Put yourself
so
in
does everyone apparently on this podcast.
Hey, put yourself in Taylor Swift's shoes right now. If you could write one line about an ex that you had, what would it be? I just wrote mine.
Whoa. Who's the songwriter? Don Henley. What do you got?
God, I was so bored. Why did I waste my tears? I was just bored. I wasn't even into that person. I was just bored with my life.
That's amazing. I can't even say it. Well, come back to me. I'm gonna think of it. That was really good that you already had that.
Yeah. Well, that's our music portion of the show. I mean, I could be a lot worse, but it would also be incriminating, and I'm not.
No, I know. That's what. By the way, the first thoughts that come to my mind are all Fourth
Yeah.
and long.
Yay.
Fourth
How we
and long,
doing?
but the relationship was short.
Short
Um,
and not so sweet. 2-point conversion.
Hey, I just got told I was going to interview Justin Jefferson on Friday. You love him, right?
I love
Yeah,
him.
you guys did a cute interview, the dance, right? The whole thing.
Gritty.
Okay, good. I've never met him before,
He's
but he seems like
adorable.
a good time.
Mhm,
Minnesota
mhm.
in November, not so much. How about we got to talk about my bets yesterday. I was 500, which is fine. But my big loss was the Bucks. I mean, me and everyone else that put money.
What's happening there?
I don't know, but Tom, very uncharacteristic of your friend Tom. He was like, make it quick in the press conference, and he gave him 1 minute to answer
Hot.
questions. I know, I was into it. But still, by
I
the way,
like that jacket too.
I loved that jacket. It looked like actually something that you would have for wear, some of your guys' stuff. Different size. But he still was so nice, even in being like, make it quick. And he was like, answered a couple questions and then was like, all right, we're done, and walked away. Thanks, guys. Yes.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
actually went back to watch it on the internet and I said to Jared, ooh, 55 seconds, not a long one. He's like, let me see what he's wearing. But yeah, I'm curious. What do we got going on over there right now? I can't seem to figure it out. And I think quickly see Vita Vea, it's only a bone bruise because that would have been a really bad injury and maybe a sprained MCL, but that would have been a big deal for the defense. You could blame it on the defense, but I mean, he can't throw 2 picks. He doesn't need me to say that. What are we doing?
well, I'll tell you what we're doing is we're missing
Who's
our
it?
safety valve
Yeah.
named Rob Gronkowski.
America's safety valve.
And exactly. Is he still doing commercials? That guy has more commercials than you do right now.
My favorite one is when he's like, this is Robert.
Robert. But yeah, I think like having him back, because that's just always Tom's go-to. AB
Yeah.
also helps, our defenses have to account for him. But I remember interviewing Gronk last season around week 12, and they were, Ryan would know what their record was at that time, but no one was like, hey, this team's going to win the Super Bowl. And I remember Gronk being like, yeah, we don't get worried until whatever, week 14 or something like that. So
I gotta be honest. This is what I'm worried about. Okay. Where am I for NFC Championship? And I love my people in Green Bay. I love them. But if I could be in hot versus indoor versus cold, you know what your girl is picking. I mean, that's a lie, by the way. I'll go anywhere they send me. Please, God, keep me on the team. But, it's just.
Wait, no, this is an interesting question.
65 degrees. I don't know.
Would you rather be in Tampa Bay with a humidity, the 7-5, they had a bye, then went undefeated? See, there you go.
But they just had their bye and they just lost.
I understood, but like the 7-5, what are they now? 6 and.
But then they had the most unbelievable playoff schedule. They were on the road. I mean, geez Louise.
Wait, hold on. I was going to go back to would you rather. Would you rather be in Tampa with a humidity, whatever, of 100% and sweating, or would you rather be in, let's say, not Green Bay, because that's extreme. Would you rather be in New York?
That's extreme too.
But is it as extreme as Green Bay? Because the last time I was in Green Bay was the NFC Championship game when I got kicked off the field by Mike McCarthy, and it was minus 30 degrees.
Extreme. I also
was extreme discrimination.
Week 16 last year, and I did a throwback to you, and I was so freaking cold. Remember that one? I was all bundled up.
I one time was so cold in Minnesota when I was the college, the Golden Gophers.
Oh,
Where is Eric Decker? He was on the team at the time, and I was like, he's cute, but I'm older than him. And it was so cold. Instead of saying play clock, I said something else. Play cock. On air. And I tried to correct myself, but my mouth was still numb. So I had to say play cock, not once, but twice. And then finally I just went, Tom, because I was like, lay out. You're not going to get this word out of your mouth. Yeah. Just literally, I was like, they need to do a better job of clock management or whatever it was. It was like, they needed to, make sure that they're paying because they committed some special things bullshit. And I'm like, no, literally. And I was like, they did I forget who the coach was at the time. But he said something like, we got to pay attention to the play clock. And so I was reciting that, and it didn't come out that well. But
I did a Thanksgiving game with Kirk Herbstreit and Mike Tirico on Thursday night. in West Virginia. I did not pack properly. I wore this little trench coat. It was probably 15 degrees. Rich Rodriguez, the head coach. It was so cold. I said Western Virginia on air. And then you know what ESPN did to me that next summer? They used me in the what not to do portion of the presentation of the seminar.
Oh,
Yes.
fuck off. They did not. They used their own employee of like what not to do.
They did it to all of us. They had a bunch of things that then we could correct, like not our proudest moments at the college football seminar. I mean, there was my ego. I was like, does anyone have something I could blow my brains out? I couldn't have been more.
God.
I already lived it on air. And then thank God social media wasn't that big then. But like, yeah. And I knew when I said it, I was like, my lips are frozen. My tongue is frozen. I was like, maybe no one heard it. Well, yeah, everybody then heard it at the ESPN college football seminar.
I can't get this Jen Shaw thing out of my head. I mean, unfortunately, we got a great Monday Night Football. Not unfortunately, we got a great Monday Night Football game with the Rams and the Niners, which of course our podcast comes out on Thursday, so we'll know the result of that. But I was going to say, I would just lock it in right now and start watching. Why have you kept this from me?
What am I supposed to do? I feel like I've told you. Haven't I told you?
Whenever there's arrests involved, I get more interested. I like to see, I don't really care like when we're like, hey, what dress are we wearing? Like the girls, you know, they're pulling out weaves. When the
legal
feds show
issues
up,
are great.
You give me some feds and some, you know, DEA. Get law enforcement involved, and now I'm tuning right in.
It was pretty great.
Is the show?
Can we do some girl talk really quick? Because I have a question. Yeah. I have a question for the people on the streets.
Yeah.
So I was home alone on Friday and Saturday. My husband was in Toronto working, and I was working out, whatever, doing some stuff. And I was sitting outside with Howie for a minute, and I was just trying to get some vitamin D. And I was in some shorts because I was trying to get these white legs, a little bit of sun. I have a real issue. And if this is a campaign, you know I'm all for it. Tonight. No, I'm kidding. So I have a real problem. Listen, it takes a good 10 minutes to shave my legs. I'm 5'10".
They're very long.
They're very long. This is what I struggle with. And the sunlight really showed it. I have hairs this long on my freaking knee.
Ooh.
I cannot shave my knees. And it's not even like, okay, so there's my kneecap, but I'm also bow-legged. So it's also the bone that sticks out on the side of the outer part of my leg. I cannot get around it. And now I have the longest hair. I cannot navigate these areas. I don't know. Am I nearing this now? I don't think there's a razor that can help me. I don't know what to do. I mean, everything else is taken care of, but this is an area I struggle with, and it ain't cute.
You're not alone. That and the Achilles. And also, I've discovered as I've gotten older, the back of the thigh. Be careful. You better show some flexibility and put that leg over your head, because there are some hairs back there that you can braid, because no one's getting that, shaving the back of your hamstrings that often.
I know.
I saw one the other day and I was like, shit. So the knee is always a conundrum, obviously, because we're working with bones. And now, like, are we bending the knee? Are we putting the knee up in the shower? Or are we just
I don't want to nick an artery,
straight?
Well, I don't want to nick an artery.
That also happens on your actual, whatever it's called, like the front of your calf, because that bone that sticks out if you're going really fast. I'm such a fast shaver. I'm shocked that I haven't.
I am too. That's why.
I don't have time for it. I'm not interested in staying in there. And you're lucky I'm even doing it at all, because I'd like to, I don't know, have somebody attracted to me. So just shave your legs. But the ankle's also an area. That one on the back of the ankle stays there for a while too. Yeah. And all of a sudden you're sitting there in the Indian position in your yoga class and you're like, whoa, where did that come from? So when you discover those, or you're putting on the self tanner and you're like, I've tried to pull it off before.
Ryan just DM'd us or put on the chat the shin,
because I couldn't think of the word shin. Yes, thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, I can get through that pretty good. It's just, my knee and this outer bone. I don't know what to do. I gotta be honest. I don't know if I'm going to sit there and start naring my knees. Does anyone have?
Are we still naring?
I don't know.
Well, we're lasering. I've invested in laser for everything. And I should just take it to the legs,
Yeah. Take it to the streets.
Yeah, I have. I should do that. But, maybe we get a better razor. Maybe we get one that has all that stuff around it, the gel to protect us. I don't know.
I have that. It's not helping.
Huh. Okay. You get good natural light in your bathroom. How about we do a little dry shave before you get into the shower? You're afraid
Because
of the
this
razor
is the
burn?
area, yeah, it's not even the razor burn. We're gonna nick something that we need, you know? But I'm interested. You
Mm,
guys DM us. Let us know how you deal with
okay.
these sharp edges.
I get one right here on my chin. This is an older thing. This is also happening, and I
I get
forget
one up
about
on
it.
my cheek.
And all of a sudden, then I'm like, oh my God, I forgot. Like when you're looking in the rear view mirror in your car tells all.
Oh
That
yeah.
thing does not hold back and it does not discriminate. It says, you know
So does
what?
the bathroom in a plane.
Oh yeah, that could get deadly.
Oh
All of a
yeah.
sudden now we're getting in there. We're popping zits and there's a line
Hmm.
that goes past Comfort Plus.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we'll get some feedback on that. You have a Thursday night game in Atlanta,
Yeah.
right? You're going back home.
I gotta
How long
study
did
for
you live
that.
in Atlanta?
I lived there for 10 years, but I wasn't in love with it. I wish I had been. I wish I had gone out more. I wish I had really enjoyed the city. That was when I was with ESPN and I just worked my ass off that basically
Mhm.
my home was like a hotel. It was storage
Yeah, I was gonna say because I don't. Why did you live in Atlanta? Was it just easier to get around?
because
Because
I
it's like,
worked for Turner and
oh, right,
then
right,
I
right.
didn't get my contract renewed and then I got hired by ESPN and I worked every single sport 2 games a week and
That's right.
was
That makes sense.
living at Hartsfield Airport.
Would you rather have a layover in Atlanta or Detroit?
Atlanta, because I know where that sushi restaurant is.
Oh.
But Detroit has some good restaurants too in that airport.
The reason I ask is because I both think they're very difficult to navigate in terms of
They
like they're
are.
so long. Detroit's like
They
those
are.
freaking gates, and we got to get on the tram. And I mean, I know every freaking airport has a tram now, but those two are always. I like lived in the Detroit airport with all those and NFC North and Big
Oh
Ten
yeah.
assignments back
Minnesota's
in.
sneaky big too. Sneaky big in Minnesota.
Oh, here's the
DFW is where it's at. I could live in DFW.
What are your thoughts on that tram thing in the not the tram, but like the moving escalators? You're not standing there ever, right? We're walking on those. Who
That's
are
my
the people?
cardio, baby.
Yeah, but who are the people that are standing there? Like I move out of the
I don't
way.
know. I don't have time for that. I got to get through. I push it. I push it to the last minute. I mean, Rich Gross and I, gosh, last story, and we probably need to wrap it up, but we were leaving Miami and we walked literally a half mile to get to Clear and then walked back. We were sprinting to our gate, full blown lather. And I was like, you know what, Rich? That's just our cardio on a Friday. Great.
Good job, Rich
Yeah,
Gross, that little cutie.
I
Wait,
know.
I feel like I had something else I needed to talk to you about though.
One lady was saying that she agrees with the wet feet touching the carpet for the hotel. She had good little thought there. She said, bring flip flops. Great idea. Melissa Gage said, I'm with Erin about not walking on with wet feet in a on a hotel carpet. I bring extra flip flops and wear them around the room as I'm getting ready. So good.
That
I
is
love
so
that
good.
idea.
So, you guys and again, we reiterate this all the time, but if you have a topic that you think is interesting or you have a question, DM us. It's a Calm Down Podcast on Instagram. And we go through these bad boys and we are listening.
Corey Mansky said our pod has been an unexpected dinner topic at least 3 times now. He said, thank you both for being open, honest, fucking real people. Whoa. Talking about skin routines and neti pots. Hell yeah. You know we're here.
Yeah. Um, I was going to say with the sweet message from before, I've also the flip flops in gyms, like certain gyms, like when you go and like shower and stuff like that. No one needs to be walking straight out. That's like when you're back in college.
For Charissa, this is from Kimberly Reed. I love people who have suggestions about our job, how we do it. Here we go.
Yes.
You ready?
Okay. I can't
For
wait.
Charissa, Jerry Madeline. One observation I noticed last week during the Fox game breaks and again today, your voice trails too softly when you end your updates, as if you lose confidence or interest. I will tell you, as her friend and her coworker, she's not losing interest.
I think that's great.
That's what sexy people do when they're done with highlights. I mean, Kimberly,
Joe,
have you
Troy,
not
and
listened
Erin.
to us? Joe, Troy, Aaron.
You know what,
your
Kimberly?
sign off, man.
I appreciate that because at this point in my career, I'm always looking for feedback. So I am going to ensure, here's my thing. And you and I both have this issue. I cannot handle my voice is very loud and I'm aggressive anyways in life.
Hello.
I'm not interested in you yelling into a microphone. That's what the microphone's for. Like, it's going to amplify your voice. So we don't need to be like, coming up next. It's like, whoa, let the microphone do the work. It's like in golf, let the club do the work. Like, there's a lot of people I see on TV sometimes, and I'm like, why are they yelling? I'm confused. So, Kimberly, I'll take that. I'll go the other way with it and be louder. The first time anyone's ever in my life told me to be louder.
You know who also DM'd us on our Calm Down podcast?
Who?
Andrew Whitworth.
That little cutie. What's he doing? Getting ready for the game.
Yeah. Probably right now, pregame warm-ups. You are talking about the flight attendant going on and on and on and on. And you're like, and he goes, that is the truth every time.
I mean, let's just get to it because on Delta, which we are big Delta fans, you and I, when they keep talking, it's interrupting the TV. Like, we can't watch what we want. We can't do anything on the program monitor there because it's being interrupted for an announcement. And those announcements are just so long.
All right. Well, that's going to do it from here. What are your highlights coming up this week? You're going to Minnesota, stay at the Ivy, great hotel. And tell Justin Jefferson I said hi. And I will give the Minnesota Vikings a plug. Their PR staff is one of the best. I love all of their guys. They're so great.
Do you know how sweet they were? I got engaged.
I do know. Yes. Sam Newton.
Amazing. When I got engaged, New Year's Eve, I ended up flying back for a Mike Zimmer interview. I got engaged the next day. Bill Richards, our executive producer, unbeknownst to him, I just got engaged, texts me and says, hey, can you go to Minnesota for this interview? Well, I can't say no because I'm getting engaged in the middle of the season, which I shouldn't be doing anyways. But I was like, sure I can. So I then look at Kyle and I'm like, we're cutting this short. I'm getting on a plane to Minnesota. Let's go.
Why leave Hawaii when you can go to Minnesota to sit down with head coach Mike Zimmer,
Exactly. I mean, and here's the thing. Who doesn't want to leave Hawaii when you can go to snowy Minnesota? So I get on a plane, fly there. I get off the plane, sit down to do the interview, and then the PR staff hands me this bag and a card that says congratulations, and they got me an engagement gift. I'm like, you guys, this just happened yesterday. You are Johnny on the spot.
They're the sweetest. If you stay at that hotel, I lived there for a good month when my husband was picked up by Minnesota. They have the most unbelievable tater tots. I know you don't eat like that, but sometimes when you want
that's not true.
Comfort food, it's delicious.
You and I had great tater tots in Montana. I'm always down for a tot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got to go to Montana in March. I just realized that. Are you good with that? Like, after football's over, can we go in March?
I'm quitting every job but this come football season. I'm over it all. I mean, house and home, of course, that will carry on. I'm going to just delegate some other people to take that over. We need a break. And we're taking a break for a week. We'll join you again next week on Calm Down Podcast. Make sure you guys DM us. Make sure you DM the right person is the moral of the story here, or text the right person, and make sure that we let us know what we can do or what you want us to talk about.
Or don't want us to do ever again.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Or that. Bye.
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.